I would like to thank for the invitation to speak today about the Cyprus Stock Exchange and any opportunities and how the companies can use the exchange to expand their business. Before starting with the presentation, I would like to say that a stock exchange is a vital organization, a vital place, a venue for expansion of the companies of each country. In that sense, Cypriot companies, and not only Cypriot companies, Cypriot with foreign interest, even foreign companies, can utilize the exchange to expand their business and proceed further to their implementation plans. Let me first say a few words about, at a glance, the Cyprus, the status, services, market, and supervision. The Cyprus Stock Exchange at present is a public corporate body. It's still, owned by the government. At the moment, following a relevant decision by the Council of Ministers, there's a process of privatizing the exchange. So, for this purpose, investment consultants were hired and are now working on the implementation plan. Within this framework, a draft bill for legislation has recently been drafted. It has now been reviewed by the Attorney General Office of the Republic. Shortly, this bill is going to be tabled in front of the House of Representatives of the Republic. It will become legislation. This hopefully will be done within this year, and immediately after, an international tender will run so that interested stock exchanges and other exchange to become a strategic partner in the share capital and in the exchange in general. We expect that by this initiative, the Cyprus Stock Exchange will be able to gain benefit, to bring in more added value, and with another strategic partner on the Cyprus Stock Exchange, will be able to expand further, and also for the investors and the companies to make further use of the exchange, given this new potential. The Cyprus Stock Exchange is not only an exchange, not only a trading venue, it's also the official Central Securities Registry and Depository of the exchange, in the sense that for each listed issuer, its registry is kept electronically on the exchange. Everything on the exchange is computerized and electronically. There is nothing in paper form for the last years. So everything is, we use a technology edge approach in our operations. The exchange has two main markets, actually. The one market is the regulated market of the exchange, which I would say that is the old traditional market of the exchange. It has listed around 50 companies in this market, and another 55 companies, as I recall, are listed on the so-called emerging capital market of the exchange, which is a multilateral trading facility. So, under these two main markets, there are different segments and categories of markets, so as to cater for different market needs. So, an interested company, an interested issuer can choose the market you would like to get listed on, and to raise new capital via shares or corporate bonds or any other products that it can list on the exchange. So the exchange offers different markets and different products on its market. The exchange is supervised by the Cyprus Securities and Exchange Commission for the main function of the exchange, and at the same time, since it is, as I said, a central security settlement and depository system, It's also supervised by Central Bank of Cyprus for the money passed through the exchange for the transactions. And the exchange is a full member of all important international organizations worldwide. Regarding the technology of the exchange, for the last around 15 years, the exchange has a common trading platform, a cooperation synergy with the Athens Exchange. We are using the same system, the electronic-based system, and for all main functions that the Athens Exchange has. And this has provided the exchange flexibility to adapt to new regulatory and new technology advancements in the European Union. And at the same time, the vast majority of Cypriot members are also remotely from their offices in Nicosia or in Limassol. They can be quite easily also member on the Athens Exchange through the MiFID directive. And at the same time, the biggest Greek members are also on a remote basis from their Athens offices. They are also members on the Cyprus Stock Exchange and can serve their clients on Cypriot stocks. The exchange in the last years has also quite upgraded involvement on the energy sector. First of all, in the last 5 years, we have been one of the initial founding members of the Greek Energy Exchange that operated 5 years ago in Athens with a 10% stake. In the same exchange, the Athens Exchange is also a shareholder of the exchange. The EBRD Bank and a number of other shareholders are also shareholders of the Energy Exchange, and this proved to be a very successful investment for the Cyprus Stock Exchange. Also, for the last years, we are the auctioneer on behalf of the Cypriot government regarding the emission allowances trading, which are credited to the government of Cyprus. We are also carrying out this task successfully for the last, I think, 8 or 9 years. And very shortly, we are now at the preparatory level. We are also assisting the TSO of the Republic regarding the competitive electricity market that is planning to be open in Cyprus within 2025. So we're also carrying the settlement and risk issues regarding this market. So this is an involvement, I would say, over and above the traditional, conventional, I would say, tasks that the exchange had in previous years. Regarding the statistics of the exchange, this is the average trading value last year, which was above 1 million, 1.3 million per day. This year is lower up to now. There is also, as you can see, a very good percentage of foreign investor ownership. At present, more than 50% of the share of the market capitalization of the exchange is held by foreign investors, and the total market capitalization it approaches 25 billion. This is actually the market cap of the exchange at present. This is the index of the exchange for the last 8 to 9 years. This is the trend of the share index. I will present in a few minutes the performance as well. You can see that around 2020, because of the effect of the COVID-19 disease, there was a downturn in the market. But in the last years, the index is up, quite satisfactorily. And this again a bar chart representing the same issue. Regarding the markets of the exchange, this is about the emerging capital market. You can see how it is structured regarding the various sectors. We can list on the exchange technology companies, we can list on the exchange EMIs, we can list banks, financials, industrial. So this is the market cap of the exchange. Regarding the sectoral classification, this is about the ECM market, the emerging market, and the same happens for the regulated market. It's again a categorization regarding this classification, the sectoral classification. This is the returns in the market for the last 5 years. You can see, as I said before, around the COVID era, we had a negative return. But as you can see, the last 4 years, the return was much higher. Last year was 58% return in the market. And you can see that the average for the last 6 years is 22.7%, which is a very satisfactory and a huge increase, I would say, compared to what's happening worldwide. Of course, nobody can guarantee what will happen in the future, and I'm not an advisor to say so, but these are the facts about the last 5 years and the returns. Now, opportunities offered for companies. Companies can use the exchange, as I said before, can utilize the various segments, the various markets that the exchange offers. We can list the various segments, as you can understand, have different criteria for listing and different continuing obligations. The main market of the regulated market is a more, I would say, strict market in criteria, in market capitalization, in free float to the investor, while the emerging capital market is a more flexible market. In both markets, somebody can list his company if of course meets the criteria without necessarily having a prior track record of 3 years accounts. He can even list on the exchange with a shorter period of financial statements, given the fact that he will provide a satisfactory, efficient business plan to the Council of the Exchange to be examined and accordingly be decided whether somebody can fit and get a listing on the market. Somebody can raise money through the initial public offerings. Somebody can raise money through private placements to a number of institutional investors. And of course, somebody can raise money not only at the beginning, at the first stage of the IPO or the initial listing, continuously while in the market. A company can raise further and further capital, which is going to be issued to the existing shareholders of the company in the sense of the rights issue. A number of benefits or let's say advantages can be offered through the listing on the exchange. A company can expand operation and business, can proceed more easily to take over and mergers. A company has further visibility to the market, a daily, transparent, let's say, price formation. So somebody can each day know, what his investment accounts for, because there is a price on a daily basis, which is something very important. An increased visibility and promotion through the listing, and another prestige, because a number of companies which have been listed on our market, they said to us that for them it's prestigious to be listed in a market for a number of commercial reasons. So a company can further improve its corporate governance through the exchange with the various audit committee and the rest of the committees with a more proper corporate governance, can further improve its commercial developments, the relation with the staff and partners, can give out to his staff a number of option schemes, and all this can be done in a lower cost than any other capital raising or, let's say, loans through other source of financing. I've said about the listing, the ability to list newly established company with a proper business plan to be submitted on the exchange. Something very important, a listing on the exchange can provide for a more proper succession in family business. So a family-owned company can find its own way through listing and then can proceed with a partial giving out of a number of shares to shareholders. And this will help, among other benefits, for a company to survive in the future through a proper succession from the initial owner. I've said about the price mechanism and the daily price, and transparency, something which is very vital for any investors worldwide to invest, is that within the exchange there is transparency. A company listed should provide with all financial statements on a periodic basis, and also with any important announcement to the investors, so to be able to have a more, let's say, clear picture of the future of the company. A few examples of a company which is not secret, is something that is facts. A number of companies, Logic, for example, is a company, a Cypriot company, a big one on the technology area, Petrolina, Atlantic Insurance. In other markets, you can see that from the listing day, their market capitalization was further increased in the market through the listing on the stock exchange. And of course, not only because of this, because of their commercial and strategic movements, but also these are successful examples in the market. A few. Regarding the investors have further a more wider range of products to select among these shares, bonds, collective investment schemes. The investors can further be assisted for their portfolio diversification process, and the investor, if of course with logical and, let's say, well-calculated investments, can be assisted on enhanced returns through the market. A number of tax advantages are also offered in Cyprus for investment. There is no capital gains tax on selling stocks, so somebody who has made a gain in a certain period can sell his stocks without any capital gain tax. There is no stamp duty, no transaction stamp duty in Cyprus. In other countries there is. The defense of corporate bonds has recently been reduced to 3%. Before that, it was 30%. And given with a number of our initiatives, the Parliament has reduced this to 3% for government bonds. Government bonds is a very widely used tool for companies worldwide, and among them, a very successful category are the green bonds, which comes under government bonds, corporate bonds. And investors who are not tax resident in Cyprus can receive their interest gross of any tax deducted. So, current trends, I've said about the privatization and the aim of attracting a strategic investor. This is, in our view, a very important milestone for the exchange. If it succeeded with a proper strategic investor, it will enhance the market and will open new corridors, in my view, in the future about the Cyprus Stock Exchange. Markets are affected, as you see, on a daily basis, and we all can see it after the recent Trump administration, let's say, win on the elections, that whenever there is a new, let's say, initiative on the economy or any changes on the tariffs, etc., the markets are very sensitive, and this means that the markets are very important for all economies, and is actually in the headline of the news worldwide, what's happening in the markets. And about the digital exchanges, many things are coming from the European Union in changes regarding our regulatory and legal operation. We're trying to compete. It's not always easy, but we think that we are very compatible and flexible on this. I've said about the importance of investor participation and also by using the technology and digital tools. In my view, we are trying to be continuously technology advanced. We are using new operations. Everything on the exchange is computerized. We are open and flexible for any suggestions, so any company who's interested can approach us and discuss their views about their future regarding the Cyprus Stock Exchange. We are more than happy to discuss any views of the company regarding the market. We are mainly focused continuously to attract more investors in the market and further strengthen the financial market. It is something that also is becoming nearly a European directive in Europe. I mean, now Europe, if you follow the whole issue, they are now having the so-called capital market union, investment capital market union, and this is a main initiative and aim of the European Union is to make the European citizens investors to invest further in the market, to the pension funds to invest further in the market. This is a very big target of the European Union, which fall behind the USA example. So this is very important because in the European Union says they say that the money that is only kept on deposit is not kept on productive plans, and the productive plans are in the market. So the investor should be able to select among the most productive, let's say, plans so as to help the economies further develop. This, for me, a few things about the exchange. Anybody who's interested to hear anything, we can discuss it after the session, or even somebody can contact us can use our let's say, site and send us any questions, or we can arrange any meeting to discuss further the advantages and what can be offered in detail by the Cyprus Stock Exchange. Thank you very much for your time and for your attendance.